Number 6 in all the country, hosting the Volunteers of Tennessee, number 11, though Tennessee has not won in the loose since 2003. That's a 10-game losing streak. Last play, first half, Joey Aguilar picked off by Zabian Brown, who took it back like it didn't fit. And listen, with the holidays right around the corner, make sure you keep those receipts because there's going to be a lot of returns. Just like that one, 99 yards to the crib. Tennessee coaching staff, they loved it. Alabama up 23-7 at the break. This is the 4th straight ranked matchup for these Crimson Tide, who after dropping week 1 against Florida State have rattled off 5 straight wins. Deshaun Bishop rattling off this run right here, 44 yards to the crib, 14 rushes, 123 yards, one of a pair of scores for him. Tennessee down by 10 after a failed 2-point conversion. We're going the wrong way. Ty Simpson to Jeremy Bernard, who load up to throw, but instead, nope, he'll move the sticks with his legs. That was with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's a gain of 18. The Crimson Tide 10-0 at home under Kalen DeBoer. So they do not lose these games. It's Bernard again hitting the spin move. 4 rushes, 49 yards, most of his damage there. And then Ty Simpson to Rico Scott. Any relation?
Yeah, that's my cousin.
That's correct.
That's my cousin.
1 catch, 11 yards. That touchdown. Alabama wins again. Light him up, Ty Simpson.
Any win in the SEC is hard, you know what I mean? But it means a lot about this team. We're resilient, we're tough. I'm really, really proud of the guys, but I'm going to enjoy this one. This one meant a lot to me.
Ty, here's your victory cigar. How are you going to celebrate tonight?
I'm gonna go light them up with my boys and enjoy it, but smoke them if you got them.
Hey, just don't inhale, you know?
Yeah.
You learn that the hard way.
Well, you can be president.
You learn that.
You know, by not inhaling. We got 5th-ranked Ole Miss taking on Georgia between the hedges. Number 5 in the country are these Rebs, yet to lose. They're undefeated, but Georgia's
Oh!
That's a great ball from Trinidad Chambliss. He finds Deuce Alexander. The deuce was loose. Well, probably see a doctor for that. Second grab, 33 yards. Chambliss then would keep it himself. I mean, this was Hulkamania style. The Rebs ran all over. They ran wild on these dogs. Georgia allowed 4 rushing touchdowns, tied for the most in any game under Kirby Smart. Matter of fact, they scored on their first 5 defensive touchdowns. Touchdowns on each of them, rather offensive possessions for Ole Miss. Gunnar Stockton down by 9. In the second half, minus Zachariah Branch. What a catch from Branch, an adjustment on the back shoulder, and then Stockton in the fourth quarter to Nate Frazier. Stockton was perfect in the second half. More on that in a moment. Georgia scored on its first 8 drives of this game. First team to do that against an AP top 5 team in 20 years. Dylan Bell is going to take this thing on the sweep. 17 yards around defenders. The Dogs are moving the chains, down by 2 in the fourth at home. Stockton said, we played hard, we're never out of it. Stockton to Lawson Lucky. All the great tight ends that Georgia's had, Lucky is the first to have 3 receiving touchdowns in a game. Brock Bowers never did it. The Bulldogs have a 40-35 lead after a Georgia field goal. One last chance for Ole Miss. They're down 8.
Oh.
That thing is batted, doesn't have the distance. Josh Horton swatting that thing down. Georgia outscored Ole Miss 17-0 in the fourth quarter. They win 43-35. Highest scoring game in this matchup's history. Kirby Smart channeling Steven Seagal.
I just told the guys that's a culture win because you don't win that game if you're not physically tough, mentally tough. We call it hard to kill. And the one thing we're hard to kill. We won't go away.
They score every time they have the ball, and you have 34 first downs. So, but when you're in a game like that, if those happen, you just got to keep scoring, and we didn't do that in the fourth quarter.
Gunnar Stockton lights out. We told you he was perfect in the second half. Completed all 12 of his passes and threw for 3 scores. He's the first quarterback to go 12 for 12 or better in a half against an AP top 5 team since Aaron Rodgers did it for Cal in 2004 against top-ranked USC. After that dub, where do you have Bama in the SEC hierarchy?
They are number 1, and I don't think, well, there's a couple of teams close, but to me, they have separated themselves on a day when there was so much confusion and conflict going on in the SEC. And a couple of plays like we have been watching, Tennessee in many different situations about to take the game back or at least get back into the game, safeties, all kinds of just crazy plays. And right here is where the game ended and really where Tennessee's season may have ended.
Oh.
Don't quote me on this, guys, but I agree with Paul, and I think the selection committee would too. After the games ended last night, I had Alabama #3 overall and #1 in the SEC ahead of Texas A&M because the selection committee is not afraid to put a one-loss team ahead of an undefeated team if they've earned it through the eye test and resume, and Alabama has done that, beating 4 straight ranked opponents, 2 on the road. When I woke up this morning and checked ESPN analytics, they're #2 in strength of schedule, #4 in strength of record, and #7 in overall efficiency. This team is getting better every single week, guys.
Another ranked matchup in the SEC. 10th ranked LSU visiting Nashville and Nash Vegas, and Diego Pavia, 17th ranked Commodores of Vanderbilt. That's MK Young, 28 yards down the sideline. MK Young, part of a 239-yard rushing performance for the Doors. I thought they were better on the water, these Commodores. And then Pavia is going to find Cole Spence. Spence led the Commodores 56 yards receiving, 160 yards and a touchdown through the air for Pavia. There's Garrett Nussmeier. He'd have a better passing day than Pavia, 225 pass yards, 2 passing touchdowns, buying time, finding Xavier Thomas, and Vandy couldn't tackle him in a phone booth. I mean, this dude, you remember phone booth?
I do remember phone booth.
Well,
do you remember the movie Phone Booth?
Is gone. I do.
Colin Farrell. That was a great flick.
Man.
What a thriller.
Pavia, meanwhile, speaking of a thriller in a 3-point game, calling his own number and rushing home one of his 2 scores on the ground to go with 86 yards. Oh, and hitting the Heisman post. And the cash money. What's happening?
Represented for the 99-2000?
31-24 as Diego Pavia. About those Heisman odds, though. You could get a lot of cash money by betting on him if he were to win. They're 6-1 for their first time since 1950. The Heisman odds, though, improving to 22-1 after entering Saturday with 50-1 odds. Still just the 8th shortest odds to take home the award. Here, look, it's our new professor. Just in time for midterm grades. Professor Finebaum, I have a question. Raise his hand.
Oh, sure.
Halfway through the season.
Go ahead.
Halfway through the season, what midterm grade would you give the Crimson Tide?
Take notes.
First of all, that was a really inarticulate question, sir. The answer is very simple. If you were watching this broadcast, it's Alabama. They have been dominant. They have played one of the toughest runs I have seen for ranked teams. They have not dominated everyone, but they dominated the Tennessee Vols last night. Had you been paying the slightest bit of attention, sir?
So the grade, sir. The question was, what grade would you give them?
Questioning the professor.
Oh, excuse me. Last I checked, I was in charge of this classroom. The grade is A.
It's an A.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
By the way, Professor Finebaum, I don't want to be a tattletale, but Randy has cigarettes in his backpack.
That's not true.
I saw him. He's got cigarettes in his backpack.
Flavors.
But before you call security, what about the dogs? What grade are you giving the dogs of Georgia?
Would you mind slipping me one of those cigarettes to try to get through your ridiculous questions? But the grade for the dogs is close to an A, but I'm going to give them a B. Remember, they lost to Alabama at home. They've come close to losing a couple of times, so I can't give them a perfect grade. And yes, don't remind me Alabama lost the first game of the season. I don't want to think about that any longer. But the dogs get a very high A, a B+ if that's possible. Next dumb question, please.
Yeah, Professor Paul, Gary's just putting his name on the assignment and trying to get credit when they turn it in, as long as we're tattletaling. But Texas missed a couple classes. Professor, do you give them a passing grade?
I will determine who gets a passing grade, not you, young man. Yes, Texas gets a passing grade. Not a great passing grade, but a passing grade nevertheless. I will give them a C. It could be worse. It could be better. That young man, Arch, has had a very difficult season, in case you haven't been watching.
Professor, after this question, is it okay if I go to the bathroom?
You may leave now. Leave the question with the other person,
let me leave you the
please.
question. My friend Bill, he's kind of been aloof all semester. He wants to check in. Is UNC, are they okay? They get an A?
That was another inane question. Go ahead and head to the bathroom right now, young man.
Appreciate that.
While I answer very intelligently. No, they do not get a good grade. They have been failed. They have been expelled. and so have you. So please, no more questions.
Class dismissed then?
Well, that checks out because I got put on academic probation my freshman year, so it's actually all too real.
It's actually hitting a little close to home.
Super accurate.
Professor Finebaum. Thank you, sir. We're setting the curve. Roman Harper's loving the current state of the SEC, especially after Bama's win over Tennessee. Roman, who from that conference was particularly impressive on Saturday?
Randy, good morning and hello. I don't want Coach Hearn getting at me this morning, so let me get that out the way early. Who impressed me the most was Georgia yesterday, and I got to admit it, the Dogs are playing, man. They're playing great right now, and Gunnar Stockton was very impressive. He took the next step in his maturity and iteration of his best version of himself at quarterback for University of Georgia. And Georgia ultimately just finds ways to continue to beat teams not named Alabama, however it happens, whether it's scoring a lot of points like they did yesterday or a couple weeks ago at the beginning of the season versus Tennessee, or they have a slugfest like last week and have to come back on the road versus Auburn. They are battle-tested, and they ultimately always just find ways to be gritty, to continue to fight, and continue to find ways to win. And that's because they have championship DNA in their football program. They never quit, and they just go out there and win because of that.
Look at Roman Harper complimenting Georgia and still sneaking in a positive line about Alabama. Listen, before you go, it's usually Roman's Forum time, and we're going to do that. The problem is you're playing a road game, you're in Tuscaloosa, you don't have your crown. So we got one for you, okay? Let's just pretend that you're using this. Who's in Roman's Forum today, Rome?
Well, it is a great team called the University of Vanderbilt. The Commodores anchored down yesterday. That was an amazing win. They were favored for the first time versus a ranked team ever. I told you guys yesterday that could be a big upset, a big win for them. And look at their schedule. Like, you look at it, they're only favored not to win 2 of those games. That's on the road. But you can't tell me they can't go out there and beat any one of those teams. It's no longer the conversation of they're just the old Vandy team. No, this is a team that is possibly an SEC championship caliber team that is on a run like they are, and also a playoff caliber team. And so I know it's hard to imagine, it's hard to think about because of its name is Vanderbilt. But if you just look at the schedule and what they've been able to accomplish, and the way that they play their game on their style, the way they possess the football and create turnovers and take care of the football in Vanderbilt's way, it's an amazing story, amazing run. And I can't wait to see the end of it because they are no longer the sleeping giant. No, everybody sees them. Everybody knows that they're away. And you don't want to see them the way that they play their game.
The Emperor has spoken. That is Roman Harper closing out Roman's Forum. He'll be back with the crown next week. Roman, we appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
But the son of our great colleague, Chris Mortensen, Alex Mortensen, made his head coaching debut yesterday, leading UAB against number 22 ranked, unbeaten Memphis. They were 23-point underdogs in that game. And in that particular matchup, Alex Mortensen led UAB to a win in his first game as a head coach. I will just say this. I cannot imagine how much Chris Mortensen would have loved that game yesterday. And just spoke with Alex. Alex doesn't want us talking about him anymore. He wants us to move past it. He doesn't want any of this attention. But I told him as a general rule, when you get named a head coach and when you win a game like that, we're going to talk about you and we're going to salute you. And that's exactly what happened. I'm sorry that Mort wasn't here to see it, but I could tell you that every one of his friends and family were all watching in attendance. And very bizarre that game from UAB would be on ESPN2 and that his next game is in Connecticut, where ESPN is based. Very strange set of circumstances, but congratulations to Alex Mortensen and the UAB football program.
You want this, you got that. No